Now we all know these are tough times for businesses, especially micro, small and medium tier businesses. Due to the ongoing pandemic situation, international trade has been badly affected. Massive losses are accruing and an obvious reality for most MSMEs across the country. But you cannot stop doing business due to this unplanned loss, can you? Hi everyone, this is Mithil Nanda. I am a partner at DNA Growth and we are a leading management consulting firm. Today we are here to discuss with you how to keep your sales alive and growing in recession. What your business needs right now is a strategy to keep your sales running. Even at the peak of recession. Yes, you heard me right. Even at the peak of recession. How can you accomplish that? Well, that's what I'm here for. I will give you some clean, simple and straightforward routes to achieve sales growth in recession. But first, let's learn from an example. Now, do you remember the 2008-9 recession? Well, many would not remember that dreadful time. Back then, when most businesses across the world were suffering, there were a few clever market players who were able to not only survive but grow in the middle of the global economic recession. Hyundai, USA, is a very good example of this. By 2009, the entire auto industry was in deep trouble and it was uncertain whether it would even be able to break even. Unemployment was through the roof and nobody was buying cars. What do you think Hyundai did in such a situation? In response to such an adverse time, Hyundai strengthened its marketing by investing in 9 commercial slots in 2 of the biggest events in the USA, the Super Bowl and the Oscars. Now, for the people who do not know, these are the most expensive advertisement slots ever in the history of the world. To spend a considerable amount of money investing in advertising on these 2 slots. Now this customer-focused ad campaign did wonders for Hyundai. So the company's market share increased from 3.1% to 4.3%. Their competitors in the auto industry experienced a 22% sales drop, while Hyundai increased their vehicle sales by 5%. The company was voted the top marketer of the year by industry analysts. Now, this example is that of formulating and executing the appropriate kind of strategy for your business. Now, your business may not be Hyundai or Toyota, and you may not have the right budget or the massive marketing campaign, but that does not mean that you cannot revive your sales in recession. Size of your business or funds can never stop you from growing. Always remember, with the right plan and the right execution, you can achieve anything. Here's a list of things that you can do to help your sales grow. First and foremost, stay calm and focused. One of the worst mistakes a sales professional can make during the recession is panic. Sales reps who act too aggressive or too hungry to make a sale will scare off a potential customer. A customer who's already worried about the fate of their own companies and their jobs, instead of hysteria, offer calm, focused solution. In a downturn, people are more concerned about safety and security than they are concerned about high potentials or big gains. Sales professionals should do background research to determine what is the biggest challenge or the biggest threat a potential customer would face. They should then shape their sales pitch around ways to minimize those threats. The second thing you can do to increase your sales during a recession is do not devalue your product. During the 1973 recession, as competitors panicked, IBM made an unusual move. It raised prices across the board. Big Blue took this step after embracing the marketing catchphrase. Nobody ever got fired for buying IBM. Most people think in tough times you have to give special offers or cut prices, but that ends up devaluing the product. And also devalues the salesperson's reputation. It also devalues your brand's reputation. When prices fall dramatically, customers start to believe that they were overpaying at the regular price anyways. Or if the product is so cheap, it's because there's something wrong with it. Instead of slashing prices, consider offering additional services such as longer guarantees, additional tech support. It just makes the buyers feel that they are getting more value for them. Another way to increase your sales during a recession period is to increase your market research. If your sales are slow, then you might be thinking of cutting back on your market research budget. But now is the time to increase it. According to a Harvard Business School professor, they advise businesses to increase their customer research during a recession. Find out what the customers are not buying. Find out what they used to buy before. Shift your sales goals away from products or services that are no longer in demand. Also, find out what products or services customers do want. Try to meet the new demand. With the right research, you can determine which of your current sales strategies are defunct and which are steering you towards success. Now we take an example of hedge funds in today's scenario who have invested heavily and in multi-millions and billions of dollars in a company called Zoom. They foresaw that in the coming times when people are locked down in their homes, a human need for interaction is still going to be there. Zoom, a company which was virtually non-existent, they were existent but they were not heard of, suddenly shot up like crazy. Increase your market research. If you foresee a need for a product and if you can provide that before anyone else, your first mover advantage will be tremendous. Another important way to grow your sales is to utilize your referrals. A word of mouth is the primarily factor for 20 to 50% of purchase decisions according to a research by McKinsey. But most of the companies shy away from asking their customers for referrals. Ask existing customers to refer to someone who will benefit from your product or your service. If they share referrals right away, that's great. If they ask you to call later, follow up. Then connect with the referred prospect and introduce your company as the one referred by your existing customer. People are also 4 times more likely to buy when referred by a friend. Just imagine how effective your sales will be even in a slowdown. To get more referrals from a customer, it is very important to follow the next rule I'm about to list. So the next point is you should never ever neglect your loyal customer base. Focusing on new customers is crucial, but do not ignore your existing customers or assume that they are safe. Make sure that they know that their business is appreciated and spend as much effort reaching out to them as you do in contacting potentially new clients. After all, it's your existing client who will carry you through a recession. Also, there are the ones who will help you in utilizing referrals. A slowdown leads to a drop in sales. We all know that. Use the extra time and energy available to improve customer satisfaction. You'll realize how many unnecessary processes you can remove and how can you improve your systems. Understand, a satisfied customer doesn't just stay with you long, they also share those referrals with you. Those are a gold mine for a business. In this pandemic time, my next point is very crucial. For your sales to grow in a recession, you need to identify multiple channels of sales. Due to the pandemic, regular retail has been affected. The shops are closed, people are not stepping out of their houses, and in such a time, businesses which already had an e-commerce strategy in place were able to cope much better. Having multiple sales channels can ensure that the products are always available to your customers no matter what the situation. Moreover, it's the 21st century, and if you do not have an e-commerce strategy, you really need to get it together ASAP, because the future is digital. In these troubled times, one vital thing that you can ensure that your business has is enough or surplus or adequate cash flow. One thing that most small businesses do not realize is that cash flow is one of the most important aspects of the business. It lets you manage operations smoothly, it will help you invest in opportunities, it will maintain a goodwill with your suppliers, and so on. During slowdowns, recessions, cash flow becomes even more important. Customers tighten their purses, people are not spending money. If you do not prioritize, your business will go deeper into the quicksand with almost no way out. Even if the banks limit their spending, even if the banks give you credit, you will run out of cash eventually. If you do not plan for it, cash flow planning is a very vital aspect to our consultancy, and this is one thing that will ensure that your sales keep on growing even in a recession period. Now here's an example. During slow market phases, a client of ours reduces its transactions with unprofitable customers. Not exactly unprofitable, but I am talking about those customers who negotiate too much, demand their last minute orders to be prioritized. Instead, what our client did was focus on offering better services to profitable customers. Customers who pay their dues on time. Customers who, within reason, try to understand your problems. You are better served any day in servicing these customers better than the prior one. Such strategies might appear counterproductive on paper, but trust me, they are highly effective in business life. Another thing that you can do in this period is invest in future. A slowdown generally occurs because of a transition. In other words, a trend that has existed for so long and it is no longer relevant. Old ways of working no longer remain valid. Inefficient businesses get weeded out, and the ones that improve efficiency thrive. According to a research by Bain & Company, organizations that rank among winners are the ones that are able to capture opportunities just before the recession. Bain & Company equates a slowdown to a tight turn on a racetrack. It is the best place to pass competitors, but requires more skill than driving in a straight line. You should invest in products of the future, not just to sell what's relevant, but also to streamline your business. In the end, if you just don't want to survive the downturn, you want to emerge stronger. Use this time to build your company's morale. Your team is probably suffering from job insecurity, from income decreases, pay cuts, and whatnot. If they seem depressed, they seem anxious, then boost their morale. It is your responsibility. They are your employees. Throw a party. Plan a fun day trip. You might think that recession is a time to cut back. Why should I incur such unwarranted expenses? But morale building as an investment in the happiness of your clientele, in the investment in the happiness of your employees, your stakeholders, will pay you off. Let us look at a case study summarizing all the points. You would expect that buying diamonds would be the last thing in the mind of any person during the recession. But De Beers, the giant diamond company, thought differently during the 2008-2009 economic recession. It actually went and doubled up its Christmas ad spending. Why would it do that? Because it understood that its customers. Its research revealed that diamonds represent enduring value to a majority of its customers. Brand awareness ads focused on here's to less and buy fewer things because a diamond is forever. The result was sales remained almost equal to the previous year and did not fall drastically as was previously expected. I mean, who would buy a diamond? Even more importantly, the price of diamond did not fall, as De Beers solidified the image of diamonds as a thing to be held forever. Always remember, nothing is impossible if you have the right strategy and the right execution for it.